Just so you can get across that as well. My bad. So I just go back and look at what one worked better. What happens here at 31? What's maybe the most, what do you want to have happen? What's the most interesting?
I mean, the melody's coming back, the Jesus lesson melody. So I think that's the most important voice throughout all of this.
Okay, that might be something that we always need to hear, but what else is interesting? Because right now, if you just hear that, then I think you lose out on some of the richness. So what do you see? What is in your score segments?
We have the ascending half notes and the lower two voices. It's a contextual thing.
So that's moving forward. What about this? Let's just try something. Ready? Let's just try it right at 31. Right at 31? Ready? 31. Isn't just getting locked into one thing. So we talked about it in the phrase about all the dimensions that happen everywhere. So see if you can excite those types of things. So if you can get more depth into that, because if this stuff is one-dimensional, then it gets really boring. All right. What's beautiful about this, and even the original arrangement, is how the colors dance. When the melody rests, something else happens. That's what's really great about this site. Let's go 2B4 again, one more time. 2B4. 2B4. Something too long, you can never prepare the next step. Does that make sense? So, la da, 1, 2. If they're not doing it by 3 and 4, that's on them. La da, back to Steve and Taylor and the tenor voices. 1, 2, and then over here. So I'm getting to places quicker, so I can make that happen. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody? If you wait too long, you never quite get the best out of it. Go ahead. 2B4 again? 2B4. So I'm always trying to forecast that one. Try it one more time. Try it one more time. See if you can get more ahead of the music. it changes even more, right? La da da da, and then it comes right here. So for everyone, this is a really great learning lesson. Knowing where the melody and knowing where the things dance around, and when the melody rests, how to bring other parts out that are interesting, and then how to bring the melody back in is really important. All right, do you want to do just a little bit of the Orff?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have much time. That's good. A lot of the basic level things, I would say, like for this point in the class, that's a really beautiful, like if we were at the end of the semester, that's like an A++++. Right now, it's kind of like a C++-ish. I'm pushing towards a B. It's nice, basic, but it lacks still the specificity to targeting those types of things. So especially since we've done a slow one on almost everything. Okay, good. Let's do a little Orff. Get the bass drum today here too. Excellent. We'll let the composing be in Carl Orff's court. Good. You know the piece. I still don't think it lacks enough style. And even Caitlin's part back there, when she gets playing, it lacks the articulative energy. It's very sweet. Everything sounds like vanilla to me. We're out of time, but I think the things that we were doing last week with tact and then movement, tact and then movement, and then a lot of conviction, boom! And then having pop is going to help the articulation. Right now everything sounds too legato to me, and it lacks a lot of style and energy. So, but you know it, and you're managing the compound stuff well. You got one little, that you recover. So that would be what I'd be working on. Make sense? Good. Next, please. Steve. Steve, what would you like to do?
Yeah, start with
Orff. By the time you get to whatever when the party music happens, when the 4/4 happens, none of it looks. It all looks exactly the same. The middle section looks exactly the same. So what's the difference in the music?
the difference is after when it goes to the piano, it's supposed to go back into legato.
Okay.
So at the beginning, it's more like.
What do you guys see? Yeah. What do you see in the music that he's showing?
It stays the same.
I already saw that. What do you see? What's happening? What isn't happening? Okay, so we have introduction. Tell me about the A section. Tell me what the way Steve conducts the A section. Yeah, Bill.
It's not really accented. It has a little bit of staccato to it.
So you don't get a hot ton of articulative energy. Okay, I would agree. What else? Good. Let's start at the very beginning. Start at the top. So 3 + 2. See if you can get more articulative energy. If he doesn't give it to you, play legato.
Oh.
I'm even more concerned about like the 4/4 stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Bradley?
I feel like it lacks tact, and it's a little bit more of a fluid
Floppy?
tube, yeah.
So, okay, so it lacks an energy really towards the point. Caitlin?
I saw firm tact points for the most part. It's just the movement after, I think, is where it becomes an issue.
Okay, I see firm tack points in the first two notes. I don't really see firm tack points in the 4/4. I see a lot of flop and follow. So part of that could be size. Can you put more energy into the actual tack point without being so big? I think that's part of what Caitlin's getting at. But because that all happens, it really takes away from that. So that one is pretty good. That one's pretty good. You have to move twice. You're doing eighth notes now, right? This is quarter notes. So if you move in the same size, it's going to be what?
Slow.
No, it's going to be very big and floppy, right? If you move in the same size, you're going to move twice as fast, right? Speed, space, and length. So if we're moving quarter notes, then we move eighth notes. If I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that's huge, right? If I'm doing this size. So you either have to move the same speed and put a lot more energy into the tact, or you lose all that definition. So I want you to see this. Ready? This is for everybody. So this can be then the speed's got to go really quick, and then we lose a lot of that tact. Can we try it again?
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm getting at? Okay. But you know it. But the efficiency of what you're using can be better. Better, we're saying?
Better.
Better. So what can you do to make it even better? Yeah.
Quicker rebound.
Yeah. Boom. Which requires more wrist. Can that help?
Yeah.
Right on the 4/4? Right on the 4/4. There's a lot. Yeah. You don't have to work as hard on everything else, right? You try more time from the beginning, see if you can catch that. Good. And the face has to start taking that over. Okay? You have just a minute or so. You want to do that one more time and see if you can get the whole body into it?
Yeah.
Okay? Big, 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 small, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's get that 3 time. Let's get the pattern right.
Yeah.
2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Energy. Everything into it. Oh, and 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, better. size, energy, size, 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 energy, energy. So, yep, thank you. What do you see? Steve does a rounded pattern. What does that do for you when he tries to do those threes rounded? What do you guys feel? First of all, that's better. Yeah.
It's not quite as clear as it could be.
Okay. It takes more space, so it really changes the time as opposed to 2/3, 1/3. It becomes like, and then really four. So, dum bum 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 yum bum bum bum. If you go, the ratios become skewed when you do these round things. So I would do more dum bum 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 half, and then regular, and then just nice clear 6/8 as opposed to. What looks clear? This is just kind of for the video. It almost feels slower to me. I'm probably actually trying to exaggerate a little bit subconsciously, and that's not really me. But I just want you to be aware that when you do those things, they tend to pull back a little. So, Caitlin, you had something to suggest. Martha, good. So that might be a little bit clearer. You're close. Close. Couple of little pattern things. You're good. 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 That's good. Yep. Where is it? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's.
I did have a question. I don't know if I raised my hand.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I wasn't here Wednesday, and you may have mentioned this then, but on Monday, I know you mentioned how we're gonna end the ORF
Yeah.
based on what comes next. So what comes next is that piccolo timpani duet. So how does that influence?
And what really happens before the piccolo and timpani
There's the
duet?
rest.
Yeah.
It's like a grand pause, right?
Yeah.
So, jump bum 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 bum.
So
Just
you
give a downbeat.
Okay.
Jump bum 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 bum. Because the next thing you would have to do is la ya dum bum bum, right?
Yeah.
And it's in a compound time. So I would just go 1, 2, 3, and do another strung downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and let them play the last 2, 3. That's a great question. Good. Thank you for looking into that. And then there's just the grand pause, and then la ya bum 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 bum. Right? Yeah. Good. Good.
I want to do the orc.
Good. Good. Let's go back at the beginning. There's a tendency when you come out of the threes to do what does friend Abriel do when she comes out of the triple time? What does she do with tempo? From beat 1 to 2 and 4/4. Yeah, she rushes. So you're 1, 2, 3, then relax. 1, 2, 3. Don't push. Don't try to push time and force through. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it one more time. right on the floor. And can you just sing it out loud? Can you just do this for me? 1, 1, or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Will you just sing the subdivision? Nobody play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Try it again. I still see a little bit of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, fast into 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just do a 4 and a 3. A 4 and a 3. And rinse and repeat. With me? 1, 2, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. What do you see? What do you see in the 3 part of the time? What do you see in the 4 part of the time?
Well, when she hits Nictus point, she's quick off the rebound and then it gets her in.
So it looks really fast, like she's trying to like time this
Even if
crushing.
those beats were in time, it makes it look fast.
It looks like it's crushing. Billy, did you have something to say? Krista?
Just whenever you're going up from the 30 second dragging your wrist or like you're pulling your wrist down to make light, but then you realize that you're a little bit light, so that's whenever you drag, like you quickly.
I actually think exactly the opposite. You're fast coming up and stopping. So I think if you look at the video, you beat my baton. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then you kind of wait and then guess. And because you wait at the top, it puts you out of time coming back in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's better. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now her baton is not beating me. That time it beat me a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Do you see that difference? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now poco accent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Poco accent without rushing from the beat. So it's just, you're not really doing anything different. You're just putting a little bit more snap in the wrist. Right, one more time. 1, 2, ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. That was a good one. 1, 2, 3, 1. 2 good ones in a row. Good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1. Don't rush the 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now one rush. 1, 2, 3. Better. 2, 3, 1. That was a good one. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 1. That's what we're trying to get to feel. That compound time and dual time is really predictable. Because if I asked you to just conduct the bass voices and the tenor voices and the alto voices, what would you hear? Pum 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 boom pum boom pum boom pum 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 ping pum pum boom ping pum ping pum ping pum ping pum 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 boom ping pum ping, and you'd hear the bass voices be on the beat and off the beat, and those things go back and forth. So that's why our time in there, if it wags its way one way or another, faster or slower, it becomes really tough for everybody. You've seen that with a couple of people. Like, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? So that openness of the 3 is really important.
So like, how would you suggest like I practice that? Because I do practice it by myself, but you know.
Do you remember a long time ago when we were talking about this compound time before the last exam, and we were talking about how we move in speed, space, and weight? And in this case, we have a point between 2 incidences, all right? What's that? So if we have to do, you know, if this is like quasi 6/8 or 3/8, we have to go between a point and a point, and we have 3 or 2 eighth notes in front of them. We have to figure out how to break it down. And if we use the exact same speed, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2. We're going to be up much higher. Yeah, and then I have to do the same distance in 1/8 note. Twice as fast as this. 1, 2, 3. So I have to rush to get back there in time, which looks like I'm just rushing, even if it's perfect. It gives me the instability. So you have to move, when you're doing the compound stuff, remember, you can do 2 plus 1, or 2/3, 1/3, or 1 plus 2. This one generally doesn't work as good. This is the one we jump. So you have to move, in this distance, you have to move, whatever it is, half as slow. That's why I said drag all the time, when we were doing this a long time ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, drag. 1, 2, 3, drag. Look at how my size doesn't change. Drag, 2. If I change that size or change speed, all sorts of other things start happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just move the same. And now I'm stuck up here and there's a dead beat. And then I'm going to rush back down. 1, 2, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. Kind of works. That one might be okay for this type of music. But if I drag, I can really show the roundedness. If I do the same speed, then I'm going to be way up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And now I really got to rush back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? 1. See how it looks really fast coming back into it? It's almost like I'm pulling back time and rushing into the rounding. So I don't get a rounded sense. All at the same time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I move through the whole thing. 2/3, 1/3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 is where the direction changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That might be really slow going 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. So you know exactly when that direction changes at the top of the compound meters. That'll help.
Recording this up also might help, so I can see it.
You'll be able to see when they're with me and when they're ahead of me as well. So because that's why we do them side by side. So you can see when you're pushing things as well. There's some really good ones in there. They're just, we want to get them all really good. Yeah. Does that make sense? For everyone, when we get to the legato part, so we have the la da la ga, we're just changing the energy at the tip, right? And maybe the size because it's not as big, which makes the compounds even slower if they're smaller, right? So la 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 la. Those are slow and small. Does that make sense? Good. That's not a bad sign. You know the piece. It's just getting some of the mechanics worked out. And then a little bit more Party Time USA. Okay? Good. Good. Next, please. Make note of just who was scheduled to go. Billy, what would you like to do?
I'd like to run trials of him and then work on it.
Good. So run a trial. Terrific. basic comment you would give him on that in terms of just his aesthetic with his pattern, what might it be? Yeah.
Doubling.
Okay, yeah, mirroring, yep, so I'd say something maybe even before that. Okay,
I think it still has too much cat.
I would agree. It's not terribly legato, you see a lot of tactic, that's an excellent observation. So I'd say the left hand more specific as well. And similar things, eye contact and projecting ahead of time, not in the moment or not kind of with them, but absolutely in front of them, do this. This is exactly, so a little bit more leadership can happen there. That's in a similar place, like you know the tune, but it feels like you're waiting and you're with them, not in front of them. Does that make sense when I say that?
I normally orient myself with the bass, and so it's hard not.
Most people do, they go to wherever their section is.
Yeah.
You want to just do maybe like the first, I don't know, or do you just want to do a spot and see if you can do a little better job of that? You can take it wherever, just a minute or so and then we'll get to the org.
Yeah. 26.
26, great, let's do it. Yeah, so good, just we'll try it one more time. So you just need to, I mean, sometimes it's knowing where the fruits are and clarinets are. It's tough in this class because we don't have quite that easy. These guys come in on 4, and then there's that moving bass part and the upbeat, right? So you can look at both of them and be with them and give, 3, and then come here. So that's why you have 2 hands. You try it one more time. Well, you have 2 hands for a lot of things. So if you lose one, you can still eat. That's an important part. Right. Scan both parts. Makes a big difference. So you help them come in, but then you put more energy there, and you get la bomb bomb. You get that composite stuff. That's a good learning lesson for everybody. You want to do a little bit of the org? Yes. And then it was like big you don't always have to go big. When you do the cheers part, song, 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 cheers, right? So if you have your root beer and it's full to the top, and you go bum, 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 cheer. If you're really abrupt with that cheers, then you have to stop, and then what happens? All the root beer flies out on Caitlin. You know, like the person you're cheersing with, bum, 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 and it's, you've just thrown all the root beer on their face, which is not, but, so if it's, if it's glass to glass, you gotta be a little bit more careful. Hey, 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 boom! It needs that roundedness. With that kind of pop, but that roundedness, so you don't either break the glasses or splash all your root beer on whoever your friend is that you're cheering. So you try it one more time. Let's just go right at the 4-4. See if you can round that out more. I think no, just go. Yeah, right at the 4-4. Party time. Making the 3s look upward. I think that looks really great. Can you make the 4-4 stuff look more downward so it has more accent to it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Everything's now kind of like Mozart. Boom, boom, boom. Heavy, down, and then up.
Okay.
So there's more contrast. You can do it. You can do it even better, thank you, with a little bit more flick. Ready? Go from the very beginning. That's good, but do you feel the difference? Like that type of spirit for everybody, the spirit of, it's kind of like one end of the spectrum and the other end of the spectrum of these people. And you gotta do it on like a drop of a dime. That's maybe the toughest part. That's a good start, that's a good start. In honor of Shakespeare's birthday, I want you to listen to something. Because I think this, I don't want you to listen to the music, I want you to listen to the words, because this is all about your interpretation and you crafting that and you being really confident in that. And I think
what I propose to do in this short series is to meditate, really, on passages in Shakespeare which seem to me